WBT News starts now with breaking news.
Those stories shortly, but first, continuing coverage of your breaking news. A man arrested and charged with sexually assaulting a realtor at an open house.
Yeah, he's behind bars in Rankin County on multiple felonies tonight. Sheriff Brian Bailey says the alleged crimes happened at an open house event on Cedar Ridge Boulevard. Jerry Dennis is now charged with sexual battery, kidnapping, and armed robbery. The sheriff says Dennis showed a gun and there was a struggle with the victim. He is then accused of sexually assaulting her and stealing the victim's phone and car. Dennis was later captured at a separate home.
Well, even